Welcome to Florida Men on Florida Men with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the crazy but true stories that always seem to take place in Florida. What's going on this week?
Elian Gonzalez. Did you see that picture of him?
The boy that was taken out of his house back in the 90s?
Yep.
Little Cuban boy?
Yeah.
No,
I
there's
just saw that image. It just made it to me. So that's pretty intense.
First time you've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like 45 years old
Apparently it was 17 years ago.
now. It's been a bit.
Yeah.
He was like 8 when he was snatched out of his...
It's scary.
Yeah. That is scary.
Yeah.
Why is it sepia?
It's my filter.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I don't like to be
His
woken up.
phone's permanently on sepia tint.
A nostalgia.
I love it.
Just trying to keep it relevant.
So did you guys hear about the man that broke into the alligator farm?
Oh, God.
Tell us about it.
What did he do?
So this man breaks into the alligator farm.
Okay.
Does the alligator farm have locks on it?
Well,
Does it
he
need-
climbed up onto a shed, jumped off the roof of a shed into the alligator pond.
Mhm.
Okay, it's an alligator farm, but he actually went into the crocodile
Oh, okay.
pond.
That's an honest mistake. I've
So
done the same
he's-
thing.
He's in the crocodile
If there's
pond.
no signs, then
How long? I mean, if you were to jump into a crocodile pond accidentally on purpose, how long do you think you'd be in there?
I think if I had my foot dangling over a fence and it touched soft dirt that wasn't a sidewalk, then I'd instantly be back over.
Oh, 100%. What? He landed in the crocodile?
He landed in the crocodile pond.
Oh, pond. Okay.
There's 3 crocodiles in there with him.
0.3 seconds then?
And how long do you think you'd stay in there?
As long, I mean, no seconds. 0 of the seconds.
If liquid touched my body, then
So he was in there for 4 hours,
Swimming.
swimming in the pond. There was 3 crocodiles there.
okay. These are dead crocodiles or stuffed
You
crocodiles?
would think
Yeah.
so.
'Cause,
And at one point, finally, after about 4 hours, he did get attacked.
okay.
Oh, my
I don't
God.
know what he did in the 4th hour to really piss him off, but
Jeez, name calling, I assume.
Talking trash.
Probably
I think he
probably say
kept,
an alligator.
Yeah, he probably
Yeah.
kept calling him alligator.
Yeah.
You gators.
And
And-
attacked.
He kept making gator puns.
So he got attacked.
Was he doing laps? Was he like
There's security footage of him swimming in the pond.
okay.
Jeez.
So he gets attacked. He,
By all 3 or by 1?
I think just by 1. Yeah. And so he climbs out. He's jumping over the fence. And this is morning by now.
Okay.
And so
Wow.
he starts walking down the road
Okay, with a crocodile attached to him?
with his leg barely attached to
Oh,
him.
jeez.
Oh, he's on something. So he's drugged up.
I would think so.
Stumbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did get picked up by the cops, taken to a hospital, and he's going to be in jail soon. But
What's the crime?
he did lose something. He did leave something in the crocodile pond.
Oh, boy.
His wiener.
It wasn't that.
It's bait and tackle.
That was my
for him.
guess.
Yeah.
The man was wearing Crocs
No.
when he
Oh,
jumped
get outta
into the
here.
crocodile pond.
This is.
He left the Crocs in the crocodile pond.
He did, and his shorts apparently.
I think you need to clarify this
This-
real story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the headlines.
Okay. I can't really compete with that.
Alien Gonzalez was pretty good.
Yeah, that was just.
Can't believe he just found out about it.
Yeah. Well, you Google things like
Happening in Florida.
how to point a gun at a kid in a
Josh
closet.
just got internet this week,
Yeah, it's
just
pretty-
for the podcast. I mean,
You should see my alerts. They've been just dinging. So, a Florida church just lost its tax exempt status.
Okay.
And everything's a church now.
100%.
Because apparently it was just a nightclub.
posing as a church.
Yeah, it was called the Tabernacle.
That's clever.
And
That's really clever.
it's pretty deceiving because it looks like a church if you're looking at it from the outside. But they were holding things like slumber party Sundays
Okay.
with the $20 entry.
Okay.
$20 buy-in into the
Yeah.
slumber party.
Naked paint parties were also happening there. So I guess apparently maybe someone's grandma must have tried to go and said this
this isn't Christ-like.
Something's not right here.
something's not right at the Tabernacle.
The church van didn't look very godly.
So they lost their tax exempt status. which I'm sure was helping out.
Good old Florida. If you just had it be a normal club and then just called it the Tabernacle, I would want to go to that. That's a really cool name.
That's a clever name.
So we're going to have these headlines up on the website, right? So we can verify they are indeed real stories from Florida.
You guys might have heard about this.
Go on.
Did you hear about the squirrel at the airport?
I feel like you're opening up just like a terrible joke.
Yeah.
There's a squirrel at an airport.
This is a real story.
And he opened
Well, let me back up.
Okay. What airport?
So, does flying cause you discomfort?
a flying squirrel.
Flying causes me discomfort.
Okay. So, apparently, you're able to take emotional support animals
Naturally.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
on flights.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and some airlines even let you take miniature horses.
Okay.
But the most common would be dogs, cats,
Right, yeah.
normal pets.
Oh, Equine Airline? Yeah, they do. Equine Airline. They're pretty.
So this Florida airport,
Oh, blessed.
they allow you to take. I guess it's the airline. They allow you to take dogs or cats.
Okay.
What they don't allow you to take is your pet squirrel.
No.
Is a squirrel a rodent?
I would definitely classify a squirrel as a rodent.
Yeah, that's
With a
just
bushy
common
tail.
knowledge. You don't take
Oh,
a
yeah.
squirrel on an airplane.
Okay.
Oh no.
I was always told that growing up anyway.
So
I mean,
the lady was told that she was not allowed to take the squirrel because squirrels can be aggressive
yeah.
and unpredictable,
Yeah.
and they feel like the other customers would be, a little upset about seeing a squirrel on an airport on a plane.
I can't say I would.
Offended to say the least.
I would say I wish I would have brought my squirrel.
And then I would be offended that I didn't have a squirrel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe that is the reason.
I think-
Everybody's jealous of the one squirrel.
Yeah. Well, if she's not allowing pets, I mean, like physical to be petted pets,
Right.
like she says, this is my squirrel. It doesn't like to be pet. If it's wearing a vest,
If
that
it
says-
doesn't belong in a petting zoo,
yeah.
it shouldn't be on an airport.
No, I disagree.
No.
Well, this lady wasn't very happy about it.
Okay.
Let me guess.
The
Caucasian,
Short haircut.
short haircut.
ding ding.
Um,
How about an age?
45.
Ooh, a little low.
57.
A little low. Yeah, I don't know her exact age, but she's
Okay.
definitely older than that.
Okay.
I've seen pictures.
Plus,
Okay.
Actually, I saw a video of her being wheeled out by the police, flicking everybody off.
Over a squirrel?
she had to be
over the
wheeled out.
squirrel. Yeah, she had to be wheeled out because she refused to leave,
Only in Florida.
and so that the flight was delayed by over 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
She refused to leave,
Yeah.
so the police were called, and she left, being carried out and flicking everybody off in line that had been delayed for 2 hours.
This is when someone needs to get tased.
Oh, 100.
It's not-
Don't
Probably-
tase me, bro.
Probably the squirrel.
Can we
Yeah.
get a recap of those headlines?
Elian Gonzalez.
Right.
Yeah, man breaks into alligator farm,
Leaves his
attacked by
Crocs.
crocodile.
Leaves his Crocs behind.
Church
And yes, he
loses
was wearing Crocs.
tax exempt status.
The Tabernacle.
And
And then squirrels on a plane.
which one of these is fake?
Oof. Get these blankety blank squirrels off my blankety blank airplane.
Well,
Turn it around. Reveal.
mine were true.
They were all true. What about yours?
Yeah,
Elian Gonzalez was fake?
yeah.
Oh, come
I
on.
made up the name.
This whole time?
I made up the image. Photoshopped the image. It
He was part of the conspiracy.
went nationwide.
Clinton was exonerated.
I had internet back in 96, so I was way on board.
I only ever got one of the AOL disc.
Oh no!
Once it ran out, that was it.
Well, they must have lost your mailing address because they sent them to everybody. I used them as frisbees.
Well, I've got a story that I think might be interesting.
Discs. Yeah, flying discs.
Multiple disc.
Is this a story that happens in Florida?
You know it. This story is about a man, a Florida man, if you will, named Robert Eugene Otto.
I'm going to close my eyes so I can
I want you to picture this guy.
really picture this.
Robert Eugene Otto goes by the name Eugene. He was born in the year 1900 to
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Otto. Super influential family
so now
in Key
he's
West.
118 years old today.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So we're getting there.
My math is
Yeah, the math
The,
was
the
impressive.
oldest man in Florida.
wow.
So he was born into a very influential family in Key West. These guys are so popular in South Florida, they're almost like celebrity status.
So the West family,
the West family,
I assume.
super wealthy, and they would sail from like island to island down in the Keys just to get dinner.
Okay.
Drop big bucks.
I mean, who doesn't?
Seems like a long.
Not every month, but
In
I
the
do
19
it sometimes. But then they come back to Key West in the evening, so they make day trips
Okay.
on their boats. Everybody knows who they are, and they're
Yeah, the
basically a
pretentious
seafaring
jerks
family.
The
that-
Otto Empire.
Yep.
So they would constantly sail around the islands, dropping tons of cash, eating tons of food, and so little Eugene wanted to be like his dad, who was a sailor.
Naturally.
So anytime you saw Eugene, he would be wearing one of the old-fashioned sailor outfits, the white with the blue collars and the hat,
Yep.
like the village people or whatnot.
He wants to get in Dad's business.
100%.
What Dad's doing.
8 years old, trying to be like Dad. The downside to the Otto family is they're all super mean,
Okay.
like incredibly mean. Minus the kid.
I mean,
Kid's
taking
fine.
your boat to a private island for lunch will do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they're a bit cocky.
okay.
So
Private
people
wealth.
they wanted to gain influence with this family, but they don't want to spend time with the family because they're mean. So what they would do is buy gifts for little Otto, like constantly. So they're out in public. People recognize the kid. He's like a little Harry Potter. Everybody knows who he is.
Rubbing his head.
Wearing a
He's a
sailor
wizard.
outfit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And giving the kid gifts, like left and right. So the kid's borderline maybe spoiled, and they're hoping to gain favor with his parents just by giving him
Do
presents.
the parents like their own kid?
Probably not.
So he's spoiled by his parents.
He's a bit pretentious.
And by everyone else.
Walking around in a sailor's outfit.
Yeah.
So Eugene Otto and his family live in a mega mansion.
Nice.
It's still standing on Easton Street in Key West. But the mansion's so big, they got to have full-time staff.
Okay.
Tons of staff. They've got cooks and waiters, little nannies for little Otto, young Otto, Eugene. And they were super mean to the staff. It was well known. They would beat the staff, and they would always be yelling at them and so on. But they would never fire them. They weren't like bad managers in the sense. They weren't like, okay, you didn't do your job right, therefore I'm beating you. They were just mean people.
Naturally.
And didn't care if the job was done right or not. They would just beat the staff.
Okay.
But one night, whenever Eugene was 8 years old, the neighbors heard a louder than usual ruckus and found out that there was a nanny in the house who was caught upstairs in the attic practicing voodoo.
Okay. Right.
So Eugene Otto's father,
Nice.
Thomas Otto, drug her down the steps of the house, told her that she was to sleep in the porch area, and in the morning she was to
Porch
leave
area.
and never come back.
It's that big of a house.
I mean, that.
Yeah. Stay in this area.
I mean, it was nice of him that she didn't have to leave that night. I mean,
He wasn't
he
totally
said-
bad.
Well,
Sleep it off.
The last person that you should be mean to is someone that's
Is a voodoo
doing voodoo.
voodoo nanny.
Voodoo Mama Juju.
Yeah, that's
Up
the
in the
person
attic.
I'm being the nicest to.
So the next morning, when they go to say their goodbyes, the staff's fond of little Eugene, just a little boy, and she was a nanny. She tells Eugene she has a gift for him, as is custom.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody's giving gifts to Eugene.
Yep.
And this gift was a 3-foot tall doll
Okay.
that was basically
That's gonna be a no for me.
Strike one.
Yeah.
basically is a replica of the kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
wearing
a big,
a-
that's a big no.
It's wearing a sailor's
Okay.
outfit,
Yeah.
blue collar, white hat, right?
Does
Old
he have
school
a face painted on?
buttons,
Okay.
and a painted face.
Buttons
for
on
eyes.
the eyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
painted face. Could be wrong on the buttons for eyes, but it sounds right.
So my nightmares are
Little
true.
beady eyes.
Yeah.
My nightmares
Right.
are real.
So this doll's made in his image, 3 foot tall, same color hair, everything. And no one thought it was weird because people were always giving the kids gifts,
Yeah.
right? So it wasn't like this gift in particular stood out. The kids always get
A
stuff.
lot of replicas of himself were given to him.
Well, this is the first time that's happened. But Eugene, if we recall, his full name is Robert Eugene Otto.
Yes.
Little Eugene tells his parents that the doll's name is Robert.
Okay.
He named it after himself.
That's
So you have Eugene the boy, Robert the doll, and when his parents confronted him and said, "Why did you name the doll after yourself?" Eugene said, "Because that's what he told me to call him."
Okay. Humble King is humble.
Okay.
Voodoo Mama Juju gets caught up in the attic.
We're gonna have to take that doll onto one of those islands and just leave it
Yeah.
out there.
I think we're gonna have to take a break so I can go pray because I don't want this story
Go
following
pray
me
at the
home.
tabernacle.
Yes, sir.
So this is from a publication down in the Keys called The Herald, and they said, like any other
Love the
childhood
Herald.
friendship between a boy and his toy, Eugene took Robert everywhere with him. It was quite awkward because the doll was 3 foot tall, like the boy. But everywhere he went, you could see the two companions dressed from head to toe in sailor gear walking around the town.
I mean, is this like a stuffed doll or like
Oh yeah,
a porcelain doll?
I think it's stuffed because she made it.
Probably with
So
hay.
I would assume it was stuffed.
Hay,
Okay.
palmetto.
Palmetto bugs.
Yeah. Are they giving each other piggyback rides? Because that's when I would get scared.
I don't know, but the publication goes on to say that the Robert the Doll story gets stranger as the years go on, because
As the years go on?
Don't say that
the
it-
public.
It grew also to match.
That
his
would be
height.
amazing,
Now
actually.
4 feet
No,
tall.
but the public said that they believed that Robert the Doll had a hold on Eugene the boy, and that he basically controlled the boy, not the other way around.
Okay.
So late at night, the staff would complain about violent commotions heard coming from Eugene's bedroom on an
Wrestling.
almost nightly
This is
basis.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Furniture could be often found overturned. Toys of Eugene's were often found ripped apart.
Oh.
And when the Otto family or the servants would come into the room, the boy was found huddled in the corner or on his bed, terrified. And when they asked him what happened, he would only say, "Robert did it."
Okay. How many times does this have to happen for it to be
Yeah, I mean,
lighted on fire?
yeah, get rid of the doll.
You would think.
I would.
No,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not creating a story here.
I would
creating
assume there's a bit of a detachment, I think, with rich families.
Yeah.
Like the stereotype is they've got nannies raising their kid already. They've only got one kid,
Yeah.
and they got nannies raising it, so maybe there's just a bit of
and so
detachment. I don't know.
So the nanny says, "Haha, look at this little prick. He's scared every day.
Well, yeah.
Who gives a shit?"
Right, exactly. So stories about Robert the Doll began circulating around town, and since the Ottos were super concerned about their prominent image, they decided something needed to be done. So I'm assuming at this point the
Well,
staff,
we've already decided what needs to be done.
yeah, the staff's telling people why not. But see, they don't care about the boy's well-being
No.
or the fact this doll is supposedly doing things.
Yeah.
They care about their image.
Yeah, they
it's
go-
going around town. Their son's a bit crazy.
You're making us look bad.
Yeah. So during this time period,
They killed the son. They killed their own son.
and they kept the doll.
Yes.
as a son.
All right.
Story's
story
over.
Wow.
So around this time, the aunt, whose name was Emily Otto, was living at the house. And she says, "You're right. Something needs to be done about this. But let's not rob the child of his doll. Let's just banish
Jeez.
it to
No.
the attic."
No, let's rob it. Let's
Yeah,
rob the child.
Let's
of the
burn
doll.
it.
So, and this is documented. I need to go on the record of saying this.
Okay.
Aunt Emily Otto made the decision to banish the doll to the attic. And that evening, she had a stroke and died in the living room.
Was she not aware that
Okay.
the person that
Wasn't the
gave-
voodoo
yes,
nanny from the attic?
you, me, and you?
Yeah. There's
Apparently, that wasn't shared
Attic,
with the
the
family.
key word, both rang in our brains
It's
like
stronger
a
up there.
zeitgeist.
yeah, it's strong.
Yeah, it wasn't. That info wasn't shared with her. So now she's dead. So after the death of the aunt, new staff would come in and be hired,
Oh, no.
and they would hear stuff running around in the attic.
Wrestling.
They
Oh,
would
in
hear
the attic
stuff
now. Great.
in other parts of the house, upstairs, where no one should be, and then they would promptly quit.
Never going to Key
So
West.
they get hired, they hear this stuff, and they quit. It becomes a problem. They can't keep staff at all in the house,
So they could keep staff when they were just mean to them.
but not whenever they think the place is haunted.
Yeah.
Right. So you would think that as Eugene grew up, he would get rid of Robert.
Yeah.
But he didn't. His parents eventually passed away, and they leave the estate to him.
Okay, so how old is little Otto now?
Well, Eugene Otto at this point is almost college age.
Oh, he
Okay.
still has a
He
So
still
for
has
me-
doll
the
that
doll.
looks like him and is
For
calls
me,
him
that
by
would be
his name.
12. For
Yes,
me.
because you're very smart.
Yeah, because I went to college at 13.
So after his parents die, he retrieves Robert the doll from the attic,
Okay.
and he sits
Oh,
him in.
so it is in the attic.
He is still found in the attic.
Okay.
He sits him in the windowsill of his bedroom.
Nope.
That's gonna be a bad decision.
That's where the doll stays while he attends art school in New York.
Okay.
In
Well, I mean,
19
he already has a bunch of money. I guess he doesn't really need
That,
it.
is that just to
He's
scare
going to
off
school
people?
for art.
Like a silhouette of a person standing there.
It could be. But in 1930, he travels abroad to study, and he meets a young lady named Annette in Paris, France.
Oof.
They're married on May 3rd of 1930, and then that same year, they return home to the Keys to move back into the family estate. So Annette's not local. She's
No.
from Paris. She doesn't know the stories. She doesn't know anything about Robert the doll.
You don't
Yeah.
think he told her about his doll?
While they're pulling up, like, oh,
I would,
yeah.
I would think on the wedding night he would be telling her about the doll.
When he accidentally calls her Robert.
Ouch.
Oof. a family podcast.
Do you think he has a nickname, Robert? Like Rob?
Like Robbie.
Little Robbie.
Robbie would be.
So
yeah.
Eugene and his wife, they get back to the house and everything's going normal. Annette didn't realize anything was weird until she randomly would catch her husband talking to the doll that sat in the bedroom window.
I mean, they had a lot to catch up on.
She would wake
Yeah,
up in
it's
the
been
middle of the
years.
night and catch him talking to the doll across the room.
Was the doll talking back?
I don't know, but they would argue and
Okay.
fight nonstop. The husband and the wife.
Okay, I was
not the
thinking
doll.
the doll.
Their relationship is fine.
I wonder
they were
why.
wrestling
Eugene
matches.
and, Eugene and the doll love each other, obviously.
Jeez.
Right. So Annette and Eugene would fight, and Annette says, "You know what? We don't have to get rid of the doll, but I'm going to put him somewhere else. Guess where she put him?
Don't put it
under the porch,
Hand to God.
guest room, anything, servants' quarters.
Back in the attic.
The trash.
Back in the attic, he goes. So you think Annette next morning,
She's-
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's gone.
Doesn't happen. The next morning, according to Annette,
She's pregnant.
Robert the doll was sitting in the window
Nope.
of the main living room, which faced
Oh.
Eaton Street, popular street in Key West.
Mm-hmm.
When she confronted her husband, Eugene, he simply said, Robert deserves the best seat in the house. School children were terrified to
Yeah.
walk down Eaton Street because they did not want to go by the window where Robert the doll sat.
With his
They
button
claimed
eyes.
that his eyes would move.
Okay.
They claimed he would
His
be positioned
button
differently.
eyes.
And they claimed that when they walked by, they would hear him speaking through the window.
Wow.
So kids were terrified. They wouldn't go down Eaton Street at all. They're avoiding the house. But despite all of this,
I'm going to say
Annette
this is going to be bad for
and
tourism.
Eugene stayed married until Eugene died of a heart attack in 1974. So they stayed married the entire time. After he passed away, however,
Oh, jeez.
Annette went
Don't
clinically
touch
insane
The doll.
Yes.
before passing away the next year.
Who inherited the house?
After their deaths, the home was sold multiple times.
Okay.
Each time Robert stayed in the house.
No. What the hell?
Finally, in the early 1980s, a new owner by the name of Myrtle Reuter found the doll.
For the Roto-Rooter family?
That's it.
I knew it.
From wealth to wealth,
wealth to wealth.
just like everything else in life. So Myrtle Reuter sells Robert the doll to the East Martello Museum in Key West, where he promptly became a national tourist attraction. So regardless of what we believe about Robert the doll, people think this thing is possessed.
Obviously.
They think it has powers. So they come to this museum to see Robert.
Uh-huh.
So here's the catch. In the museum, there's a sign that
Okay.
says, don't take photos,
Oh, jeez.
don't make jokes.
So the doll
Don't
is
make
still
jokes.
around.
The doll's still around. Don't make jokes
All
about
the
Robert.
family
He's
members
very
are dead.
serious.
Please
and he
do
will
not
put a
upset
curse
Robert.
on your life. Don't upset Robert the doll.
How
He's
is
had-
this known knowledge where they're like, we need to get a sign maker in here to make a sign to say this specifically?
I think Robert told him.
I mean, this is it's exactly why I've never been to Key West, though.
Some people who aren't believers have insulted Robert.
Okay.
The non-believer.
And then,
I don't even want to speak about this.
and then they turn around and they write letters of apologies to the museum after strange occurrences begin happening in their lives. The East Martello Museum estimates that as many as a dozen apology letters arrive every single month, begging Robert for forgiveness, asking them to
This
lift the
is
curse that he
truly-
has placed on their lives.
Please be merciful, O doll.
This is truly.
I have one of those letters.
Okay.
here we go.
So this
We might
letter,
need to be writing one of those letters after this.
after this
podcast.
podcast, I think we will be.
I'm sorry,
Robert, if you're listening,
Yes, please.
Eugene was a real SOB.
Don't say that.
We side with you. Oh, he likes the boy.
yeah.
The parents were real SOBs.
Yeah. I like the voodoo lady for
Annette
sure.
would, yeah. Annette wouldn't mind her own business.
I love Santana. I
Yeah.
love
Voodoo Mama Juju.
Carlos Santana and
You're
you-
thinking of Santeria.
We love-
Santeria.
Love key lime pie.
I don't
love
practice
key lime.
Santeria.
Santeria.
So
Key
this-
lime pie I do love.
This letter was written by Dan Schultz. It says, Dear Robert, you have probably received many letters like this from people like me. People who were sure there was no such thing as curse of the Robert doll. You see, it is easy to act tough and try to impress your friends by being disrespectful. And unfortunately, that's exactly what I did. I'm writing to you, Robert, to beg for forgiveness. Since I made fun of you and was a jerk to you, terrible things have happened to my family. We've come into financial struggles. We have had multiple health issues. We've had family members and pets die, and bad luck with our finances that were so terrible that it ended up in us filing for bankruptcy of our business and our personal financial fortune.
Okay.
The purpose of this letter is to profoundly apologize and ask you for forgiveness. I have talked about this event on a popular travel podcast
No.
that I am the co-host of.
Don't say
We're in
it.
trouble.
Why'd you have to drop the P word?
And I will always and forevermore speak highly and full of respect for you. Again, Robert, please accept my sincere apologies.
Okay.
And if you see fit to forgive
Oh, Jesus.
and end this bad luck, I would greatly appreciate it. Yours truly, Dan Schultz of West Palm Beach, Florida.
Wow.
So, one fun fact that I wanted to conclude the story of Robert the
What a
doll
whirlwind.
and Eugene the boy is that in the 80s, when the doll was sold to the museum, Hollywood, like it does, decided to turn it into a movie franchise
I'm sure they
called Chucky.
No.
No
and,
way.
The Chucky franchise has made $250 million
Goodness.
worldwide off the story of Eugene and his little
Okay,
doll.
so does it actually look like Chucky?
Robert. You can see the picture on our website if you go to it, but no, it doesn't. It looks like
Well, it's got button eyes.
it looks
Chucky
like a
doesn't
little
have button
straw
eyes.
boy with a sailor outfit on.
Well, don't talk about it like so simply.
It's a great
Thank
sailor's
you.
outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
he-
a
and-
great event.
and he's looks
amazing.
He wears it fantastically. He looks so strong and handsome.
Yeah, I'd probably say the best looking straw boy I've ever seen.
Robert, we
Yeah.
love you. We appreciate you. And that's all I got for the week, though.
I can't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything happens, I'm going to blame Greg's comments tonight.
Yeah.
Well, Greg,
I thought Greg was going to come with something.
no, he's a quiet boy.
Mm-hmm.
Greg's quiet, kind of like Robert.
Don't say.
That's too close to home.
Yeah, we can't speak of this anymore.
So we've had our headlines and we've had our story. That's what's going on in the crazy side of Florida, which just so
Which-
happens to be all of Florida.
Which is within the state boundaries.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah.
And you really touched the peak. That's nice. The edge of Florida.
Down on the end. I
Yeah.
figured
we
we
went way
start
south.
low,
Yeah.
we work our way up.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always say
Start
that.
low.
Yeah, he does.
Work my way up.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right then.
When you're mowing your lawn that's on a hill, that's what you always say. to
Start
yourself. Start low, work my way up.
It's 100%.
That's
All
why
right.
it sounded familiar to me.
So this has been episode 1 of the
Season 1.
episode 1, season 1, part one
Mm-hmm.
of episode 1.
Cut it right
Goodbye.
now.